Hey there, creative. Calandra Martin here. I am so excited to be providing a training and tutorial for you on how to best utilize and navigate Canva. This is really going to be speaking to you if you have never used Canva before, but I also think that these steps are really useful if you need a refresh, if you need to simplify things with your graphic creation or your business. So I have a checklist here that you will have access to, and I'm going to be referring back to each of these steps so that we can stay on track. What I'll say in the very beginning of this tutorial is that Canva is a vast platform, and there's a lot that you can learn on Canva. There's a lot that you can learn, and there's a lot that you can maybe waste time on. So I want to make sure that as you're using this platform and navigating it, that you return back to these steps so that you can really keep this a simple and fun and easy process. So the first step, if you don't already have a Canva account, will be to create one. And this is very, very easy. There is a link here for you in the tutorial PDF. So you can go ahead and click that. It is an affiliate link for myself if you decide to upgrade to Pro. There are a ton of benefits to having a Pro account. It's definitely not necessary, but Pro does offer additional features so that you can customize things such as adding fonts to your library of fonts and being able to easily duplicate graphics. Those are just a couple of the features. So you can take a look at that and determine what is going to be the best fit for you. And you may find that you want to just create your free account and then maybe upgrade later on. So first step, go ahead and create your Canva account. I won't walk you through that because it is pretty self-intuitive. You'll be able to figure that part out. And I already have a Canva account, so I'll be showing you my back end in just a second here. You may notice that I'm temporarily pausing my voice throughout this training, and that's just because my dog is barking in the background, and I will save your ears. So step 2 is once you are in your Canva account, and let's pop over to Canva, this is the dashboard that you will see. It's very straightforward, but there's also a lot going on. So I just want to give you a moment to see what there is to look at. So you have a menu bar on the left-hand side here, and you'll notice I have a lot of folders. Those won't be there in the very beginning of you creating your account. And then the most important piece here is the search feature at the top of your dashboard. And we'll talk about that in a second. You'll also find a couple of suggestions for dimension sizes for templates that you can use, and all of these are labeled. So Instagram post, slideshow video, email header. Canva is amazing because they provide just about anything that you could imagine that you want to create with the proper dimensions. So for example, if you wanted to create a book cover, the dimensions are already there for you, and all you have to do is create the design by clicking on this template. And then below this banner at the top, you'll find your own personal designs and then some more templates that they're going to just show you so that you can understand what each template offers if you are working on a very specific type of graphic. So let's decide on what it is that we want to create. That is step number 2. Select the template size you need and use the search bar, because what you might find is that at the top here, you're not finding what you're looking for, but this is just some of the options. So let's say today that we want to create a flyer. That's a great one. So now you have all of these templates, and it's very easy to get stuck in the scroll, the scroll hole. But what I would say is just start with one that seems aesthetically pleasing to you, and then you can customize it from there. So let's just grab a really simple one. This one looks great. I'm going to click on this, and it will open up in a new tab for us so that we can start to customize this. Once you've selected the dimensions that you're going to use, what you'll want to do is look through the templates if you haven't already as to what the design could look like. So here on the left-hand bar, it will automatically show you these templates. And so you can go through and look for one. similar to what we just did on the last page, and find one that suits you and is a good place for you to start. So I'm just going to call this good for now to save us some time, and we'll go through the next steps for the tutorial. The next thing you want to do is determine the colors and fonts that you're going to use. And what I will say as a designer is that less is more. And I see a lot of people, especially creative entrepreneurs like myself, I had to train myself in this, really try to add too much to a single graphic. So when you're creating a graphic, I highly recommend keeping it as simple as you can. 2 to 3 different fonts. You'll notice that there's probably 2 on here. Looks like if you click on these modules, it'll show you at the top of the menu for the font. And it looks like they're using just 2 and then different styles for each of these. So some of these are bold, some of them are italicized. And then in addition to the fonts, there's also a theme with the colors here. So you see this black and then this tan pewter color. So decide what your colors and fonts will be. This is something that you can just make a decision on based on what you are creating. And if it's something for your business, then you'll want to refer back to your brand colors. Once you've decided on that, you can explore the functions on the menu bar. So this is where I encourage you to spend some time getting used to Canva if you've never used the platform before. There is a lot to it, and basically everything is drag and drop and click and plug and play. So as you can see, as I'm clicking on things, they're highlighted, and you can also group things together. So I just want to point this out because in the beginning of using Canva, this can be confusing. So when you click on this, you'll see up at the top, it says ungroup. So when you're using a template, sometimes the text elements, each of these text elements will be grouped together so that you can very easily click on it and move all of them at once. If you wanted to change the layout of these and change where they are on the page, you could just ungroup them, and now you can click on each one, and maybe you want this at the top, and maybe you don't want that at all. So this is where you get to be creative and decide what you want your design to look like. And then of course, just as you would with any other platform or design, you would just highlight your text and add your text. And when you highlight that again, you can go in and change the font in this menu bar up at the top. There's spacing, just as you would see in an email or any other design. The other functions on here are transparency, which is really helpful if you are using multi-layers within a graphic. So let's just say you wanted to put this text on this photo, but now you can't see the text. So you could go to the photo and make the photo more transparent and maybe make that text black so that you can actually see it. So that's just an example. Transparency is a great tool. You'll also notice a lock feature here. So if you want to keep something in place as you're designing, and you can add a link. So if you were creating, let's just say a PDF that you want to share on the internet, you could add an affiliate link, a link to your website, whatever it might be, within each element on the page. So just click on what you need, grab this little link button, and put your link in here. That is really the foundation of editing things. And then, as I said, going in and navigating this menu bar and seeing what there is. There's a lot there, and there's a lot of different elements that you could browse for hours and hours. What you'll notice is that some of these things are free, and then some of them will have a little $ next to them. Like this unicorn, for example. And so this will have a watermark on it unless you purchase rights to it, which it will give you the option to do when you download the graphic. So tons of options outside of paying for a specific element. But if you decide that you love something, then that's what that looks like and how you do that. The text menu will just allow you to add different headings, subheadings, and body text. So if I click on this, it'll add it to the page. You can add videos to Canva, which is helpful if you're doing something online and you want to share something very visually enticing. You can change the background. So let's just say we want this photo to look like the desert at night. And then you can also just add in colors for the background of your graphic as well. And then last but not least, you have the option to upload photos of your own, which is very helpful. You can refer back to your folders once you've created them. And then something else that's really cool is that you can utilize any of these extras. So if you have Dropbox, for example, or you want to add an emoji into your graphic, there are some extras down in the More menu. And then one last thing that I want to show you as far as features on Canva is, let's just create a new page. So you'll see here that you can copy the page, you can add a new page, you can add comments to the page that you're working on. So we're going to add a new one. I'm going to go to Elements and add a grid. So this is where you can plug in a photo. And then I'm going to go to My Photos and just grab one of my photos. Now, if you plug this in and it just puts it on the page, you can drag it to the grid and it will fill the whole page or that entire grid. So the reason I show you this is because the photos themselves have some really cool features, and these are actually new to Canva. So if you go under Effects, once you've clicked on your photo, you'll find a bunch of them. But one of the best ones is the background remover. And this doesn't work for all images, but the ones that it does, it's really helpful, because what this allows you to do is add custom backgrounds to photos, add text overlays, really the sky is the limit. So now you'll see that in this graphic, there is no background. Very, very cool feature for photos. So like I said, there are a lot of functions, but have fun with it, navigate it, really allow yourself to explore. And then the next step, your graphic is going to automatically save. So you'll see up here, all changes saved. It is good practice to go in and just to save it every once in a while if you are working on something that's taking a lot of time, just because sometimes technology doesn't always agree with us. But this will automatically save. And then on the top of the menu, you can save your image or your graphic. So when you do this, it's going to give you the suggestion for the type of file that you have. So this is a flyer, which means that most people would be printing it. So you could choose PDF print. You could also select a PNG, which is a media file, a photo, and this is a high quality image. You also, if you're going to upgrade to Pro, have the option to remove the background, which is really helpful for some features. And then you can just select the pages that you want if you have multiple pages, or you can select all of them and then hit download. Oops, let's say all. And you would hit download and just save it to your desktop wherever you want to save it. There's also options within Canva to print. This is something that I have heard works really well. I haven't actually tried it myself. So if you do try this out, let me know what the quality is like. I would love to hear from you. But that is how you go in and save your document or your graphic. A couple of other fun functions that I just want to outline here is that with Canva, you have the option to make a copy and duplicate your graphic. So let's just save this as Canva tutorial. This is where you change the title of your graphic. Just going to hit save, and then we're going to go back home. So once you've worked on a design and you really love it, if you want to use that design again, and you'll see that the preview doesn't always update right away. That's okay, it will. When you're on your dashboard and you go to your designs, you can go to all of your designs or just find the most recent one here. There's 3 little dots. And if you click on those, you can make a copy. Now this is super helpful because what it will do is just duplicate the entire file, and you could then go in and change the text, change the photos, and still have the same aesthetics and layout that you already worked on creating. So that is a huge time saver. There's also a couple of other functions here. If you are working with a team or you want to share your graphic, you can get a shareable link that's helpful to have. And then you can also organize your graphics into folders. So you saw here that I have folders. If you click on the folders option, you can just create a new folder, name it, and if you have people that you want to share it with, add their email addresses there. Okay, so basically that is all you need to know. The last two steps are to browse the design school. So if you go to Canva, and on this home dashboard menu bar, you can find Design School. And what this does is it gives you a bunch of resources as to how to effectively design graphics for your business. There are so many resources here: font combinations, color wheel, palette generator, so many things. So if you're feeling stuck on something, go ahead and look at the design school and see if you can find the answer there. And of course, as I said before, have fun with this. This is such a great tool, and it's going to help you really streamline the process of creating graphics so that it's easy, simple, fun, and looks professional for your audience. So I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear your feedback. If you have any questions, please go ahead and send me an email. My site is calandramartin.com, and you can get in touch with me there. And I will hopefully talk to you soon. Good luck.